Is this a buying opportunity? Simple question, complex answer. Is it the start of a bigger market meltdown? Nobody knows. Malcolm Ethridge, however, is buying one big name at the center of this recent market turmoil, and that's why you see him sitting right there. It is NVIDIA, which I've asked you probably, I don't know, 40 times since you've been joining us. Why don't you own that name? Well, now you do.
Yeah, I would say it's probably closer to 40,000, Scott. And each time I said, for some reason or another, my answer was not yet, or I felt like the trade had passed me. And I was watching NVIDIA trade last week. Basically, the entire week, it traded down to the 110 mark and kept finding resistance. For some reason, it would break through that number, and then it'd be bought back up into the close. And so I did take the plunge and bought last Friday right at 108. And so hopefully this is the place, right? That's a 25% discount off its high around 148. That 110 number is a 25% discount, I mean. And so I'm happy to buy with a discount, knowing that, as you just teed up, we're in a pretty volatile space where that company could see far more volatility than it has to this point. But I feel good about at least starting the position there.
Is that a statement overall that you think the worst of the selling in the mega caps, for example, is now over? And I ask somebody who has Apple and Amazon and Microsoft as part of the portfolio as well.
Not necessarily. I think it's bifurcated here. So I think a company like NVIDIA, maybe even Microsoft, who don't really rely on the consumer much at all, companies like that who can have their conversation with their enterprise clients and that's where it ends, are probably going to experience a different meltdown if there is one from here. When we get earnings, we'll start to hear a little bit more about it. You think about an Amazon and Apple, all of the other Mag 7 names rely on the consumer, and Dollar General was out with guidance today telling us that the consumer is in trouble. And so I think if I'm going to go buying any dips here, I want to buy those that are shielded against whatever is happening with the consumer.
You have had a decent reset in multiples from the Mag 7, though, and it has been notable. If we're thinking that, okay, maybe these things are a little extended with the pullback, well, I don't know, maybe not so much anymore. For example, a month ago, NVIDIA was north of 30 times forward. Today, it's less than 25. Apple a month ago was north of 31. Today, it's below 28. Microsoft was almost 29. Today, it's 26.5, and so on and so forth. You get my point.
I do, and I think that is what is shaping up to create that buying opportunity in certain tech names, certain Mag 7 names, but I don't necessarily want to buy the entire NASDAQ thinking that a high tide is about to sweep through and raise all boats. I think there's still a lot of unknowns. You guys just got through naming a lot of them as far as this administration is concerned. Semis, for example, it's going to be a bumpy road ahead for semis as a category because the president's trade policy does sweep up a lot of those names. NVIDIA and others. And so I don't necessarily think this is a place you want to go trading any of these names in the semis, but I do think for longer term investors, this is a name that I'll continue to hold for quite some time. This is shaping up to be a great place to at least start to build that position if you, like me, have been on the outside looking in for quite some time.